here that does a lot of tree work and stuff. Look at the kind of equipment you got to have to really make a lot of money. That trailer right there, oh my goodness, that trailer right there is probably $15,000. Big truck right here, probably, I don't know. I think something like this costs. Oh my God. I bet that thing is a couple $100,000 right there. So if you're doing tree work and making $5,000 or $6,000 a day, like a lot of people say, dude, you need that. This is the kind of stuff you need to have. Not to mention that, you need to have a chipper too. Bobcat, chipper. See, I don't have all that equipment. This thing right here, probably 92 feet, man. That is amazing right there in itself. So, yeah. Just the freaking trailers. I mean, this trailer right here is freaking, I don't know, man. That's a big boy trailer right there, man. How do y'all charge? Y'all charge by the day, or?
Sometimes, just depends.
With about $5,000 a day? Is that about the going rate?
5 or 6.
And that's with all this equipment? How many guys you got?
It's usually about 6 or 7.
Y'all got to do that much a day, don't you? To pay everybody. Damn. I bet that thing right there is $250,000, ain't it?
I think it costs right at 200.
Yeah. And the trailers, they cost a lot of money too.
Yeah.
And that thing looks brand new.
Yeah, you just got that. You got this, that. I think that's right there. Trying to buy all new stuff.
I mean, if I'm looking around at all the equipment, I'm sure they got $1 million worth of equipment here. You know, when you think about it, the chipper ain't cheap. You know. Okay, so he says they got 5 guys, and the 5 guys and all that equipment that y'all see, they had $5,000 a day. That's what he said. So y'all see the equipment. I mean, dude, that equipment, that's on a whole nother league. But he did say you can make good money with a skid steer and a dump trailer, you know, and a man lives. But without a chipper and guys, sprinkling on us, and it kind of, I don't know, it just knocked our flow really. Well, you know, every day don't have to be, you know, intense. Because most days that we're working, even though we're not working till 7 or 8 o'clock at night, it's 5 or 6 hours of go. Like, I'm for real. There ain't no stopping for the store, lollygagging around, eating burritos and shit. Ain't none of that. Once we leave my house, ain't no stopping, no nothing. And that's another way we get off a little bit early. But you gotta be, you know, with it too, because everything is freaking timed, and we're on a pace, and it's a good pace. So we always are trying to free up time so we can do more work. And that's the biggest thing in business, if you ask me, if you're in a service like this. Freeing up time is what it's all about. It's what it's all about. So, yeah. But, you know, this year has been a good year so far, but we are, I will admit, we are limited on, you know, some of the things that we can take on right now because it's just me and Toby. So that's why we strive really hard to free up time without killing ourselves. I mean, I realize that we could work until, 6 at night, 7 at night, 3 or 4 days a week if we wanted to. But is that going to affect how we roll during the day? It's going to, I don't know. I've never really pushed that far. We just do what we need to do on the list to get everything done, and whatever time that puts us to being off work, that's what time we get off work. It's based on the route. So you always are trying, if you're me, you're always are trying to make better time on the route and squeeze in another property here and squeeze in another property there. I mean, for real, y'all, what you trying to do? I'm thinking, okay, there's another 60, there's a 70. Oh, we can swing by there and hit that one too on the way to this one. And, and then, oh, I got the second truck. Oh my God, he can go take care of that one and that one. I'll meet him over here at this one. We'll do that one and he can take off on that one and start on that one. I mean, it gets like, and you can really do a lot of work like that. Really can, for real, y'all. All jokes aside. And it makes you super efficient. And it makes you also, if you're the one managing that, and though it's only another truck, but the way we do it, it can get a little bit complicated by the way we do some of the routes and stuff. Because a lot of times guys come out here, they don't understand why they're doing it like I'm saying, okay, I want you to go to this one first and then to that one and blah, blah, blah. And they'll be like, well, I've had guys come out here and try to flip the whole route on me. They ain't out here no more. But with two people, you can only do so much. So, I know there's bigger work out there and more money work out there if I run the skid steer more. I know that. I mean, that's a no-brainer. But at what point do I, release the lawn maintenance? And at what point do I make the transition? I mean, is there a cutoff transition point? I mean, that's what I'm saying. I feel like I'm just doing the lawns, gliding into the skid steer work as it comes up, getting better and better on the machine, learning a lot of different stuff, and so when I do get on skid steer jobs, I'm making top dollar, right? But right now, I don't have time. How am I going to do that, y'all? For real? How? I can't. Because there's Toby's only been out here a couple of months, and there's a lot to learn out here. Though he does know a lot of stuff, but there's still a lot of as far as the lawn maintenance work goes, Toby's the best. I mean, he's by far better than anybody else I've ever had out here, by far. And being able to take a little bit of tweaking on method, he's really good at that too, because I'll tell him stuff and he'll be like, okay, I get it. Because it just, he just, we just don't know the individual properties. And so I'm telling him all this stuff. But he's by far the best guy I've had out here. But what the reason why, other than the fact of with so many lawns, there's no way he could do them by himself, and he just got out here. Well, he can do the lawns, but it's all the other stuff. It's the way the owner wants us to cut the properties, and the little things, and the method behind the routing, and how to make a judgment call during the middle of the day when something might come up, and all those things. It ain't doing the yard. He's shit. I could send him to go do properties, but some of my properties are a little bit tricky, and you don't realize that if you're me until another guy comes out here that knows a lot too. And then you start seeing, well, yeah, he didn't see that, but he didn't know that she wanted it like that, right? And you know, we out here trying to get it, and sometimes I just let these guys go. You know, a guy like Toby, I just let him, hey man, go do it. We can overcome any little thing that may come up or whatever. We can overcome, you know. But that's about it. You know, this time of year, we can't, I mean, I don't see how in the hell I could even have to hire another person or two. I mean, you ain't gonna get $5 grand a day, but yeah, I can make more than I do in the lawn maintenance probably. And another thing, running the skid steer, believe it or not, is cheaper than running the lawn care business. Because the skid steer, you pull it to one place, and you there all day. So, and it don't drink a lot of diesel. I mean, it don't drink a lot. But back to what I was talking about. So that's one of the reasons why the skid steer is not running that much. And I'm at a impasse really. In order to make good money with a skid steer, you gotta own one. I ain't renting one, and since I already had one, it'd be dumb for me not to invest in another one. It was just a matter of time before Bobby was going to start giving me some real problems. It had 5,000, 4,000 hours going on 5. So that's a lot of hours on an old skid steer, you know. And what was I going to do? Not have another skid steer? That was my logic behind, a lot of my logic behind it. Was I going to not have another skid steer? It never even occurred to me not to have a skid steer in my life after I used Bobby for 4 years. The thought of not having a skid steer never even occurred. Never even was a. So I went on and was proactive in selling Bobby and getting another one, a new machine, while the getting was good. You know, that's another part of why I went on and did it. Even though the skid steer, my skid steer doesn't have 350 hours on it, something like that. I don't even know how many hours it has on it. It doesn't have a lot of hours on it, but that's okay because machines hold their value on the hours or not. It ain't like buying a truck. It ain't like buying anything else. One thing about equipment, it holds its value. You ain't gonna take no big hit on equipment. Not buying new and shit. You might take a hit, but it ain't gonna be no $80,000 hit or nothing on a $100,000 piece of equipment or whatever. But you gotta see with the problem with my time, and I don't know how to remedy that right here in June 24. I don't know how to remedy that right at this moment, and I'm trying to figure out a way. And I even considered, not really, but I even considered the skid steer, it doesn't lose the value, so you can make enough money with one. You can make, and pay for it in no time. You know, the whole time I had Bobby before I got the Kubota, you know, I bought the skid steer on a whim, really. I paid 20 grand for Bobby, and that T190 was a damn good machine. It taught me the basics of everything, and I learned a little bit on it. You know, I mean, and I made money with it. Oh yeah, I made money with it. A good bit of money. And I saw how, and I bought a bunch of attachments. You know, I have over $30,000 worth of attachments. and rising. There's a trencher down here I'm going to go look at when I go pick up my sandwich today. I'm going to see what they want for that trencher. I think it's a Bobcat trencher. It looks a little beat up, but let's see what they want for it, man. Because I got some trenching work right now I can go do. But there was never a question of whether I was going to get another skid steer. It was really more about what the T190 and how it was running and my feeling, right? You work for yourself, when you work for yourself, you feel things and you learn to act on that. I just know that based on the knowledge I have about equipment, which is not vast, but it's good. It's pretty rounded, especially on the class machines that I buy or would buy. But I knew that the T190 was not gonna be able to push everything. When I bought attachments, the attachments I bought, they're all rated for a bigger machine on the hydraulic flow. I didn't buy attachments based on what my T190 could do, because I knew after I got a grapple bucket for it, I knew that I was in it to win it. I knew I was not gonna not have a skid steer. So every time I bought an attachment, I bought the attachment for a bigger machine, because I knew that my T190, because I know a little bit about equipment, had 3,000 hours on it and counting. So I knew that it wasn't going to be the lifelong machine. But the attachments I bought were for a machine this size. My Chucky, the Kubota, with 30 gallons per minute, where the T190 was 15 or something like that. The T190 was 64 horsepower. This was 74 horsepower. And this one's got all this bells and whistles and all the good, mechanical stuff. It's, the T190 had the floor, you used the bucket, you tilted the bucket and all with foot pedal. Wasn't a problem for me to begin with, but it was the first track skid steer I ever ran. So I ran the wheel ones, but never a track one. So I went from not even ever running one to spending $20,000 on one, because I had about $10,000 worth of work that I knew that some of my customers needed done, and if I could get that, they were willing to pay a rental, and I wouldn't do it because I want to make all the money. And as long as I wasn't fitting to miss no meal or nothing, I was just going. I just kept putting them off. I said, I'll do it next year. I'll do it. Whatever. And that's what I would do. Because renting a machine, that's a time-consuming, costly thing. When you're not going to get out of this business. I know I'm not going to not be a landscaper unless I have a heart attack or something. I don't have time right now to run Chucky, and it does. Some people would say it don't make sense to have it then, Ray. And hey man, that's okay, that's everybody's prerogative, I guess, or whatever, right? If you're not using it every day or whatever. There's a lot of people that have them and they don't use them every day. If I wasn't making money somewhere else, then of course I would be using it more. But during the summer, man, I have to attend to these yards, man. That's just what it is. And will it always be like that? I don't know. Maybe not. If I can keep Toby on and we can keep building, then I wouldn't have no problem with Toby next summer, managing the lawn care side or more of it. But not this year, not the first year out. It's a lot of little shit, man. I need him to learn, and the only way to do that is, and I'm not talking about the actual work. He knows how to do all that. some of the, he got to learn the customers and their preferences and shit. That's really, you know, so I'll kick it.